Still more to come on Studio 10, but first let's check in with Ashlyn for a preview of Fox 10 Midday. Hey, Ashlyn.
Yeah, good morning to you, Joe. Coming up, we are sitting down with our very own Natalie Williamson to preview a story she's been working on. It's called Lost at Sea. You might remember 6 months ago, a little boy went missing in Mobile Bay and was never found. She's taking us on a journey through the emotional search and the overwhelming response of rescue crews. That's at 11. Plus, in national news, protests over ICE immigration raids are popping up across the country. Where they're happening, straight ahead. Finally, Jen has a look at your full Thursday forecast as we head into the rest of the weekend. Fox 10 Midday is coming up right after Studio 10. Guys.
Keeping a close eye on your forecast and tracking active showers and storms out there right now. Pretty much a rinse and repeat forecast. I'll be breaking down more of your forecast details coming up.
And then sad international news this morning. There appear to be no survivors of a plane crash in India with more than 200 passengers on board. What we know straight ahead.
After nearly a week of protests in Los Angeles, local and federal leaders say they are getting the situation under control. I'm Jonathan Hunt in LA. I've got the details coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, happy Thursday, everyone, and thanks for welcoming us into your homes for Fox 10 Midday at 11. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm Jennifer Lambers.
Jen, it's another day of the summer weather keeping us on our toes today, isn't it?
That's exactly right. I can already hear some of the rumbles of thunder. Yep, here at the Fox 10 News Studios, closer towards I-10 and I-65. And that's exactly what we're tracking out there. Really, the most active portion across the southeast is taking place much further off towards the west. Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, getting the big bulk of those showers, those storms out there. Here locally, we're starting to see some of those isolated showers and storms beginning to fire off. It's really going to be dependent upon your location. Washington, Clark, Monroe, Conecuh, Escambia counties in Alabama, quiet. Florida Panhandle, mostly quiet right now. Really, it's going to be some of our Mississippi counties along with Mobile, Baldwin counties that's seeing some of those rain showers closer towards Hurley, up towards Agricola and Lucedale. We're still just starting to see some of the isolated rain out there. Turning lighter, we were seeing some of that red earlier, so now it's just more of that light to moderate rain. And then also closer towards Mobile, when this is where we're really starting to hear some of the rumbles of thunder. We're located right about here, so we're pretty ways away from Providence Hospital and South Alabama. That's where we're starting to see the majority of that rain, along with Magnolia Grove and the Mobile Airport out in West Mobile. Some heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning out there too. So far, lightning strikes getting closer towards about 20 of those, but only expecting those numbers to continue to tick up. Also on the eastern shore, Daphne extending down towards Bayfront Park and just closer towards Daphne Avenue, starting to see some of that moderate to heavy rain. Be careful if you're going to be driving on 98 anytime soon. Here's a live view from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. We're looking towards the west, so there's all those showers that we're starting to see in the distance. Temperatures out there, it's hot. We're resting in the mid 80s, but the dew points, the humidity is so high that we're starting to feel more like 98 out there. Those temperatures all across our area, just starting to see some of those mid to upper 80s, but taking the humidity into account, it's feeling a lot warmer. Already seeing some of those triple digits at Gulf Shores, Milton, along with Navarre. Mobile, you're feeling like a crisp and cool 75, but the trade-off is some of those showers out there. As we continue further along into the rest of today, we'll start to see those rain chances continuing around that isolated to scattered look, ramping up this afternoon. I'll talk more about that and the timing coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
All right, Jen, thank you for that update. Well, Fox 10 News is committed to keeping you safe this hurricane season. We're just a couple of weeks into the season, and another reminder, our hurricane special Storm Ready 2025 airs tonight at 7. We're taking a look back at previous storms and showing you what to expect for this year. From the dangerous storm surge to your evacuation zones, insurance, and everything in between, we've got you covered. Be sure to watch Storm Ready 2025 tonight at 7 right here on Fox 10. In global news now, Air India says a flight bound for Gatwick Airport in London crashed shortly after takeoff, and all passengers and crew are feared dead. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott takes us there.
A major tragedy in India on Thursday morning. A Boeing 787 with 230 passengers and 12 crew members on board crashed just after takeoff. It happened in the city of Ahmedabad. The plane reached a height of 600 feet, then seemed to slowly float back down into a residential area where it crashed. There was a huge fireball, and local officials on the ground now say it appears there are no survivors.
It's still an evolving situation. Rescue operations are on, so you'll have to wait a little more time for exact details to be put out.
Among the passengers, 53 British, 7 Portuguese, and 1 Canadian national. Those countries are now working to confirm the status of their citizens while the rescue and recovery operation ramps up. This is the first ever crash of a passenger Boeing 787. The pilot had significant experience and no record of any accidents, leading some experts to suggest the aircraft might have been overloaded.
The way that it's described as how it was flying leads me to ask the question about the aircraft's actual weight and its balance.
Meanwhile, Boeing says it's working closely with authorities in India to determine the cause of the crash.
It is tragic, but again, we have a CEO and an organization that is re-energized and recommitted to working with global aviation.
At least 100 people on the ground were injured during the crash. They are being treated at local hospitals. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
In the meantime, a truck driver's terrible luck turned into amazing luck in Iowa. Listen to this. Webster County Road Foreman Dale Isles says he was shocked to see the crash happen right in front of him. A semi-truck crashed and overturned on a rural bridge over Holiday Creek. That's when the truck burst into flames and the driver, Clay Schmidik, was trapped inside.
What kind of a shock was that when this all happened instantly?
When your adrenaline kicks in, you don't even think about it. You just start acting.
Now, Isles stopped his truck, ran up to the burning semi, and found Schmidik. Isles said Schmidik appeared to be in shock and didn't say anything at first, but was able to stand up. Thankfully, he made it to safety as the truck continued to burn. The semi eventually turned over and fell into the nearby creek. We're told Schmidik is now out of the hospital and says Isles ultimately saved his life. Also this morning, for nearly a decade, the community in Orlando, Florida has been working to find a way to memorialize the 49 people killed when a gunman opened fire at a gay nightclub in 2016. At the time, it was the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Orlando on Thursday marks the 9th anniversary of the tragedy at Pulse. As those who died are remembered, activists and city leaders have renewed hope construction of a permanent memorial site will start next June. Proposals from design firms are being reviewed now, with the city planning to award a contract this summer. Details of the conceptual site design include a memorial, a reflection space, and a survivors tribute wall. We're told there would also be a walkway with columns honoring the 49 victims on rainbow glass panels. Meanwhile, anti-ICE protests continue popping up all across the country as lawmakers clash on how to handle demonstrators. Let's go straight to Fox News correspondent Jonathan Hunt.
After nearly a week of protests, local and federal leaders say the situation in Los Angeles is now under control. The streets of LA have been relatively quiet for the past 2 nights after Mayor Karen Bass ordered an overnight curfew. Los Angeles police have arrested more than 300 demonstrators since Saturday, with more than a dozen now facing charges.
We expect more charges to be filed in the coming days and weeks. If you took part in these riots and were looking to cause trouble, we will come looking for you.
The 700 Marines ordered to LA by President Trump have not yet joined the 2,000 National Guard members, but President Trump is crediting the de-escalation to the military's presence, saying in part, Los Angeles was safe and sound for the last 2 nights, but without the military, Los Angeles would be a crime scene like we haven't seen in years. Mayor Bass says the curfews will go on as long as they are needed, but insists the Trump administration went too far.
When you start deploying federalized troops on the heels of these raids, It is a drastic and chaotic escalation and completely unnecessary.
Lawmakers across the country are now dealing with protests. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says the National Guard will be deployed to cities across his state. And there have been dozens of arrests in cities from coast to coast. In Chicago, 17 people arrested. In Denver, 18. And more than 80 in New York City. These protests all seem to be gearing up towards Saturday, when nearly 1,800 protests are expected across the country to coincide with President Trump's military parade in Washington. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
And with those protests spreading nationwide, the Democratic governors of New York, Illinois, and Minnesota are going head-to-head with Republicans over their state's immigration policies. The contentious hearing comes as President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom remain in a legal and political standoff. This over deploying the National Guard and Marines to calm immigration protests in L.A. Newsom was not invited to today's hearing, but Republicans did not hold back against these governors and potential 2028 presidential contenders.
We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
rather than going after the viral moment. I suggest you look at the facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers. No. Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders.
Illegal immigration has slowed significantly under President Trump. The White House says daily border encounters are down by 93%. Also this morning, a golden ticket to U.S. citizenship could be coming soon. President Donald Trump launched a website yesterday for his proposed Gold Card service. This could allow foreigners a path to U.S. citizenship if they pay $5 million. The website says the card is coming soon and requires interested people to join a waiting list. The website also states the Gold Card, though, will not lead to immediate citizenship. President Trump says he does not need permission from Congress to enact the Gold Cards because they only grant a path to citizenship rather than immediate approval. Well, in local news now, it's been almost 2 weeks since the deadly shooting at the Saenger Theater, where officials say metal detectors weren't being used as people entered the venue for a kids' dance recital. Following that shooting, Mayor Sandy Stimpson ordered that all events at the Saenger have additional security measures after those metal detectors weren't used during the show. Those new protocols will be put into action on Friday when the Mobile Bay pastors host a night of worship at the Saenger. With 20 churches sponsoring this event, the pastors are expecting a pretty big crowd Friday night. Visitors are encouraged to show up early to go through enhanced protocols, which will include an updated clear bag policy, metal detectors, and possible hand wanding, and also no re-entry once your ticket is scanned. The pastors are also adding some extra measures just to be safe.
Our group, we're making sure that we have private security, a large presence of that. It's not something that's going to be overbearing and threatening, but a large presence of private security. There's going to be a large police presence that will be there.
Now, the night of worship is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. sharp. Well, straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, Fox 10 reporter Natalie Williamson is joining me live as she previews a special story she's been working on for weeks. But first, Jen, it looks like another day of dodging those showers.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ashlyn. We're taking a live view outside from our Admiral camera brought to you by Eastern Shore Toyota and Hyundai. And we're just taking a look further off towards the west. Still just starting to see some of those showers and storms moving through. Already getting some reports of some of that low visibility and some slick roads. Please make sure that you are driving carefully out there. I'll be talking more about your forecast coming up when we come back.
Welcome back in this morning. It's been 6 months since a little boy went missing after a boating accident on Dauphin Island. Despite a long, extensive search, 7-year-old Hunter Slazak was never found. Our Natalie Williamson joins us this morning to talk about the special report she's put together on the search for Hunter. It airs tonight at 9, and Natalie, it's so good to have you on the show this morning. I know you've poured your heart and soul into this piece. Is it truly just a recap of everything that happened?
Yeah, it really is. We're taking people back to that first day where everything unfolded, November 29th. the day after Thanksgiving, which is a time to be with family. And for Michael Slezak, Sam Woolley, and Michael's son Hunter, they went shrimping off Dauphin Island, and it's a story I'm sure a lot of people remember because that day, you know, everybody was wondering, well, what happened? And at this time, we still don't know what exactly happened, but the story is just recapping, you know, November 29th up until, you know, somebody actually held a vigil for this little boy.
Wow. And, you know, I remember the day that the news broke and just my heart stopping really for a second because it was just a crazy, crazy story. You know, this search brought out tons of search and rescue crews. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So like you said, you know, you were there, I was there. So we saw firsthand just how many people were out there really searching for Michael, Sam, and Hunter, and even this boat. And, you know, the United States Coast Guard played a big role in this. They searched over 65 hours, over 2,000 square miles, but they unfortunately had to call off their search. But in the meantime, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, Daphne Search and Rescue, and even volunteers were coming out to search by land, air, and water for this little boy, his father, and Mr. Sam.
And that's what was so beautiful to me, Natalie, is seeing the community coming together. I remember being shocked by all of the people that were coming out to that scene to help and the perseverance, because that was a long time.
Yes, it was a very, very long time. And it was about, like I said, 65 hours for the Coast Guard, but other agencies spent weeks searching. And with Daphne Search and Rescue, you know, with them being volunteer-based, they actually went out on Christmas Eve. And I was there in Gulfport when they launched out at Christmas Eve, time for family, go have dinner with family, lunch, breakfast, whatever. But Daphne Search and Rescue was out on the coast of Mississippi and Louisiana doing everything they could to try and bring Hunter's family closure. But unfortunately, they weren't able to find him. But still, just the perseverance and the determination is just outstanding to see.
I know this story is so personal for you because you witnessed all of this firsthand. I have to ask you, how has this story personally impacted you, Natalie?
Yeah, so I mean, just I have a niece and a nephew of my own, so putting them in just, I can't understand what his family is going through at all, especially for his mother. But covering the story since it happened, it is just so amazing to see, like you say, community members not only volunteering, but the prayers that were said for his family and for all of those people that came out there just to devote their time to this search is just amazing to see.
Well, Natalie, thank you for your passion in telling the story that needs to be shared. Lost at Sea will air tonight at 9 p.m., correct?
Yes, absolutely right. And I know we just saw some photos, and Hunter's mom, Miss Meg, she's not quite ready to speak yet, which is completely understandable with this loss, but you know, she was able to send us new videos and photos of Hunter that we are super excited to share and just pass along to share his story.
I'm so excited to see this, Natalie. Again, you can watch Lost at Sea tonight at 9. It will also be posted on our website, fox10tv.com. Taking another look at your forecast and a live view outside right now, checking in on Pensacola Beach. And we have some of those showers and storms further inland. There's rumbles of thunder, but look at this view. It's nice, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and even just starting to see some of that vibrant water out there. A few folks getting out and enjoying it for this Thursday morning. And lucky for them, the majority of this rain coverage, again, is going to be taking place further inland. These showers and storms, they're firing off and then traveling further north. And so we are starting to see some quick moving rain out there. Still some isolated showers closer towards our Mississippi counties. Lucedale starting to see some of that along with Agricola. Down towards Hurley, it's turning a bit more isolated. Now towards Dantzler, that's where we're starting to see some of that heavy rain, some more of those lightning strikes, and then portions of Mobile County really starting to see some of those improvements. Less of those lightning strikes as it's pushing on the north side there of Magnolia Grove, but still more of those moderate to heavy showers just really as they push up closer towards Smithtown there.
crossing through Sims there. So really just make sure that you are being cautious in case you are going to be driving on these roadways anytime soon, expecting more of that to continue to push further off towards the north. On the eastern shore, Spanish Fort also starting to see some of those moderate to heavy showers. A lot of that pushing in closer towards Timber Creek. And as you are heading out, I-10 still starting to see some of those moderate to heavy rain showers. But the good news is that that'll only continue to push further north. So Lake Forest down towards Daphne High School starting to see some of those improvements. Still a little soggy and extremely isolated closer towards Escambia County, Florida there, Cantonment along with Quintet. We are starting to see some moderate to heavy showers. Just got in that new sweep scan and it's turning a lot lighter. The good news with these showers and storms, they are quick moving. They have movement to them. So as soon as you see them, you know that you'll start to see some of that clearing not too long. They're moving north, so we will start to see more of those showers and storms beginning to fire off, crossing just some of those county lines and moving further inland. Moderate to heavy showers possible at any point, along with some of the potential for some heavy downpours, some frequent lightning and some gusty winds. Some of these storms could pack a little bit of a punch out there. That'll continue heading further along into this evening. Here's the good news, though. Once that sun begins to set, a lot of these storms begin to lose some of that fuel behind them, the daytime heating, so they'll begin to fizzle out later on into this evening. Those rain chances will only continue for the next few days. We are stuck in the summertime pattern here across the Gulf Coast. Rain chances every single day, mainly firing off heading into the afternoon and the evening. Lower chances by the evening time hours, and then forecast high temperatures. It's still hot out there. We're going to be maxing out mid to upper 80s, the lower 90s out there. This is right around average for what we should be seeing for this time of year. Luckily, nowhere near that previous record of 100 degrees set back in 2007. But taking the humidity into account, feeling much more muggy, more of the mid to upper 90s and even the triple digits. The Rip Curl rest at our local beaches low today and tomorrow, moderate heading into Saturday. Just make sure that you're being careful out there. Know the name of the beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is. Pay close attention to those beach flags, but we are stuck in the summertime pattern. Rain chances every single day, mainly firing off late morning, but especially the afternoon and early evening. Daytime highs right around average, but the mugginess out there, it's going to be leading to warmer feels like temperatures with some mild mornings to begin. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in just a little bit. More Fox 10 Midday is on the way.
Welcome back in. It's a big day as the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs honors women in the military for Women Veterans Recognition Day. Several events were held all across our area today, including Bay Minette, where vets were honored in a very special way. Fox 10 News reporter Stephen Moody was there.
For Women Veterans Recognition Day, we're highlighting their achievements and raising awareness of the challenges they overcame during and after service. The Department of Veteran Affairs has partnered with the Quilts of Valor Foundation to award women veterans living in the state veterans home with a handmade quilt.
It's a very important day for a couple of reasons. One is the recognition of women in the military service, and secondly, the awarding of the quilts, which I know for those of us who served during the Vietnam War was very special because they talk about being a welcoming home, and so much of what we had was not welcoming.
She says to call her Pat, and her kindness is one of the reasons why she's beloved here, and why she was an amazing part of the Nurse Corps as a member of the Army. And she and her fellow vets share their stories with each other every day.
Ladies is my roommate, and she and I talk about things like this all the time. We compare when she was in the military in the 1950s, and I was in the military in the 1970s. So we've compared information based on what our experiences were.
The quilts are sewn by volunteers with the foundation and symbolize gratitude, comfort, and healing. But for Pat, it's also a reminder of what's important.
It does feel good, and it feels good that the way they've done it. I mean, quilts are very special anyway. And it's a lasting legacy that many of us can pass on to our children or nieces or nephews or anything like that. So, yes, it helps with remembering. And remembering is what's important.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
And thank you to all of those incredible women for their service. Well, straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, the best French fries in the U.S. ranked. I'm curious to see what that'll be. Plus, Vanessa Pacheco is getting her workout in this morning in Fairhope. Find out where she is coming up on Very Vanessa. More Fox 10 Midday. Are you looking for a workout that tones, strengthens, and doesn't require jumping around? I'm liking the sound of this one. Pilates might be your next favorite thing. Vanessa is in Fairhope this morning, giving it a try.
I am getting a Pilates workout. I am here at SoShine Pilates, joined by the owner, Betsy Hunter. Okay, Betsy, what are we doing today?
Today we're going to learn about the reformer, how to get on and off safely and efficiently, and we're going to work the running exercise.
Okay, so I start here?
You're going to start with your back facing me, left hand to the foot bar for support. Take that left hand to the shoulder block, lay on your side, flip over to your back, and place your feet on the foot bar.
Okay.
Lovely, good. You're going to scoot to the center. Your toes are on the foot bars, so slide those toes down, press all the way out. Arms long by your side. Hold here. Lift your abdominals as high as you can. You're going to imagine you're running in place. One heel up, one heel down, and we switch.
Now, while I'm doing that, Betsy, tell me about SoShine Pilates.
SoShine Pilates just opened last week. I'm a boutique Pilates studio focused on small groups, privates, and duets, detailed for the body or the bodies in front of me. Can you run a little faster? Yes, very good. Abdominals are lifting in and up. So the workout is very efficient, detailed for you with hands-on cueing while I watch your body and the efficiency to which it moves.
Okay, I'm feeling it for sure.
Good. You can close that carriage all the way in. You remember how to come off. Your right hand's going to go to the shoulder block. Swivel your feet and stand.
Whew. Okay.
Very good. Okay, the next exercise is called the lunging hip extension. You're going to have your hands starting on the foot bar. You're kneeling on the carriage with your feet against the shoulder blocks.
Okay, let's see.
So get into the prep position first. Beautiful. One foot's going to go under the foot bar to the pad. Find your balance with your abdominals, powerhouse muscles, which is any muscle touching your pelvis.
Okay.
And I'm just going to have a hand here to support you. Push the carriage open with your back leg and resist it back in. We have 3 of these. Open the carriage.
Okay.
And resist the carriage in. Keep lifting your powerhouse.
While I do this, obviously I'm thinking about flexibility, posture, but can anyone do Pilates?
Anyone can do Pilates. This is a lot of support, especially when you have a teacher watching you and with hands-on cueing. The reformer is for everybody. Pilates is for everybody, every level, every age, every condition. Hold the carriage open for me. Push out, good. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Give yourself a big breath in. Beautiful. Hands to the foot bar to switch.
Whew. Now, for anyone that wants more information on SoShine Pilates, Betsy, where can they go?
They can go to my Instagram at soul_shine Pilates. And in the bio is a link to my scheduling system, or just message me direct.
Okay, well, we're gonna obviously concentrate on this, guys. I gotta work on my powerhouse here. But we're gonna toss it back to the studio, but I gotta focus here. Okay, up.
And stretch the back leg away.
Look at V feeling the burn this morning. Well, let's go ahead and take another look at your forecast outside right now down in Fairhope. Starting to see a few folks out there just continuing that construction out there, still closed at this time, especially as they are trying to complete some of the parking lot features there, but still beautiful, breezy to begin for today and some sunshine. Not quite seeing any of those showers right now in Fairhope, but other portions of the Gulf Coast starting to see some of that rain. So in Fairhope, things are dry, but in West Mobile, closer towards the Mobile Regional Airport, that's where we're just starting to see some of those showers and storms out there. Dew points in the lower to mid 70s for both places. And so the feels like temperatures, look at the distance that a little rain will do. Fairhope right now feeling more like 93. West Mobile, however, feeling more like 78, just in the wake of some of those showers and those storms. Getting further along into the rest of today, temperatures will continue to rebound. We'll start to warm up once again, maxing out mid to upper 80s. Once those showers move through, it's especially going to start to feel sticky. Just once we start to introduce some of that sunshine in the wake of that rain, it begins to evaporate. You'll even start to see it on the ground. And then we're going to be feeling much warmer, many spots feeling more like the mid to upper 90s and the triple digits. So based off of what we just saw in West Mobile, you're rooting for some of that rain coverage to help cool you down. We're starting to see some of those scattered showers closer towards Mississippi, Lucedale, Bexley, just closer towards Bendale, and also Latonia. Just starting to see some of the moderate to heavy rain showers, very active rain showers there, just closer towards that Greene and George County line there. But northern Mobile County, Chunchula, Millertown, down towards Magnolia Grove, still just some of that moderate to heavy rain showers, mainly just sticking around on the west side of I-65. On the eastern shore, still starting to see more of that heavy rain pushing in closer towards Cloverleaf Landing and Bromley there. So just make sure in case you're heading out on 225, drive carefully. Take it easy, take it slow. Not quite seeing any of that thunder and lightning just yet, and still very isolated on the Florida side, closer towards Bay Springs, Quintet, and also Cantonment. Now, timing things out in our Futurecast. Honestly, I'll give it this. The Futurecast is doing pretty good for today. It's been struggling with our summertime pattern, but it's pretty close to the placement for what we're starting to see with some of those showers and storms. Expecting more of these only to continue to fire off heading into the early part of this afternoon. Keep the rain jacket, the umbrella handy. Be ready that any of these showers or storms could contain those heavy downpours. What we're already seeing, some of that frequent lightning, some loud thunder, but also some gusty winds can't be ruled out. We'll see more of that rain coverage continue, push further towards the north later on for this evening. And then the sun starts to set. We lose that daytime heating. These storms begin to lose their fuel and those chances begin to fizzle out. A live view outside down in Orange Beach. Still some of that moderate surf out there, mainly just noticing some of those yellow flags. But over the next few hours, those winds are continuing just out of the southeast, bringing in more of that Gulf moisture, but continuing around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So the rip current risk at our local beaches, it's low today and tomorrow, moderate once we make it closer towards the weekend. But checking in on the tropics, here's the good news. Things are calm and quiet. No new tropical development expected over the next 7 days, but the summertime pattern continues here on the Gulf Coast. Rain showers, heat, humidity every single day. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
All right, Jen, thank you. Well, the time 11:38 now, and a home goods store is closing some locations in bankruptcy. A fast food chain explores a sale while the fried chicken market is hot, and the best French fries in the U.S. are ranked. Here's Fox's CJ Papa with today's top business news stories.
Home furnishings chain At Home is preparing to file for bankruptcy and plans to close about 20 stores as part of the bankruptcy case. At Home operates more than 250 stores across 40 states. The company is dealing with $2 billion in debt. Other retailers recently filing for bankruptcy reorganization, the Container Store and Big Lots. In fast food news, the Bojangles chicken chain is looking into selling itself. It's known for its Cajun seasoned chicken, buttermilk biscuits, and sweet tea. The Wall Street Journal says the sale could value the company at more than $1.5 billion, roughly 3 times the price it sold for in a buyout in 2019. Bojangles has been focused on Southeast states, but also has been expanding into New Jersey and New York. And the Spuds have spoken. A new national ranking based on 40,000 Yelp reviews revealed the top fast food chains for French fries are In-N-Out, followed by Shake Shack, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Bojangles, Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Zaxby's, Hardee's, and Checkers. And to the shock of many, at the bottom of the bag is Popeyes, Burger King, McDonald's, Church's Chicken, and KFC. CJ Papa, Fox News.
I am surprised by the McDonald's one because those are my favorite, so I'd probably move that order around just a little bit. Well, new this morning, Apple expands on its parental controls to provide more restrictions on who children can text. The company says it's rolling out new safety features, which will include requiring kids to get their parents' permission to message a new phone number. Parents will receive an alert on their message app asking them to approve or deny permission for their child to text a new number. Apple also plans to allow parents to share their children's general age range with apps to give them access to age-appropriate apps. The new features are set to roll out in Apple's latest update across all of its devices this fall. Well, coming up on Fox 10 Midday, an unusual police chase lasts over an hour in South Carolina. We'll show you that. Plus, the Queen of Clean shows us how to remove rust stains with items you might already have in your home. Also, all right, Jen, some people might have some mixed feelings on this one. Sleeping next to your pets could affect your rest.
But some people may not care.
Yeah, some sleep experts say sleeping in the same bed as your pets often leads to disturbed rest, as it can often cause poor sleep quality and symptoms of insomnia.
While sleeping with pets may not be the healthiest habit, sleep experts say some people may need their cat or dog in bed with them because it is part of their nightly routine.
So true. Health experts recommend trying to put your your pet on the floor of your bedroom at night so they're close by, or adjusting your sleep routine to match their pets. Do your pets sleep in the bed with you?
Oh, yes.
Aww.
Well, not Mowgli. Mowgli, the kitty cat, he gets kicked out because he's an aggressive cuddler. So he just wants to be on your neck.
Boundaries.
Yeah, and purrs the whole night. So unfortunately, he gets kicked out with the door closed. But Dixie is a little angel baby, and she sleeps on the very corner edge. Yep, so she's good. She's got her spot.
So no sleep disturbance for you. We tried to let our golden doodle sleep with us one night. It was awful. I mean, the study is correct. He kept us up all night. He's huge, though.
Yeah.
And just has so much energy, so he's been banished to his crate forever.
That's okay.
Never doing that again. All right, well, listen to this. Ready, set, slow.
One South Carolina police department is sharing dash cam video of an unusual pursuit.
Yeah, take a look at this. North Charleston police were in a not so high speed chase with an excavator early Sunday morning.
The vehicle was going 3 miles per hour.
Wow. Police cruisers followed along with blue lights and sirens after the excavator damaged a building.
The extremely slow pursuit lasted for a little over an hour until the excavator finally got stuck.
The 53-year-old driver was arrested and is still in jail on a $22,000 bond. Jen, this reminds me of something that happened in Mobile just a few months ago.
Just a few months ago. Ours was on the interstate there, but also prime during the day. I will say the advantage with this one is that I haven't seen another single car out there. And so it's just the police following closely with that slow speed vehicle. So it definitely helped that it was in the middle of the night.
The one in January was a little dangerous because there were people on the road on I-10. I think it happened in January, right? So not too long ago, but wild ways that people try to evade police.
That's exactly right.
All right, well, today the Queen of Clean is talking about rust.
Rust stains are common in every household, but what happens if you don't have any cleaner?
Yeah, the Queen shows us an easy and cost-effective alternative.
If you've got rust on hard surfaces, then you need to be talking dirty with the Queen of Clean, because I'm going to show you some easy ways to remove it. And the first one, you're not going to believe. You're going to take a potato, and it can be one that has a little black spot on it or whatever, because we're not making French fries. We're just going to take the potato, we're going to put a little liquid dish soap on it, like that. Then we're going to come over to the rust, we're going to take that potato, we're going to put it down, and we're going to press hard. Remember to press hard. The rust is on the potato, and it's not on the hard surface. What about rust over here? We can use lemon juice and salt. We're going to take a lemon. Now, if you don't have a lemon, you can use lemon juice. I'm just going to put salt on it. I'm going to give it a little squeeze just to juice it up a little bit. I'm going to take it, I'm going to push it down, and I'm going to work it back and forth. Now, if the rust is heavy, you're going to need to put it on and let it soak for maybe half an hour or so. If it's not real heavy and old, it'll come off, well, as fast as this did. When you're done, you're going to want to wipe everything up, and you're clean and done. Now, what about your pool decking? If you have pool decking that maybe you had a light sitting on it, rusted, you're going to use lemon juice and cream of tartar, just exactly the way I'm doing right here. And remember, lemon juice and salt is always great for rust, inside or out. For more information, go to queenofclean.com. Thanks for talking dirty with the Queen of Clean.
Jen, you were paying close attention to this story, weren't you?
I was going to say we have some rust that came off of a pan that's stuck on our countertops, and it's been there for a while, and so I've got some new ideas to check out.
Let me know if it works.
Thank you. Yeah, vinegar was no luck with that one, so hopeful for some new ideas.
Get a potato.
Get a potato. I think I actually have one, so that might work out well. Well, let's go ahead and talk more about your forecast. And just a reminder, it's a great time to go ahead, download the Fox 10 weather app. That way you're staying updated with the forecast and everything that we're tracking out there. Especially what's really relevant right now is going to be the radar feature here, because you can track along with where we're starting to see some of the heavy showers, some of the lightning, the thunder out there. And if any of that lightning is close to you, it'll send you a push alert notification letting you know. That's great for us. Sometimes we forget stuff outside that can't get wet. I'll get that push notification. I'm like, oh, time to run outside, time to get it. But let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm tracking out there from our Admiral camera, brought to you by Eastern Shore Toyota and Hyundai. And just starting to see some of those showers still further off along the distance there out in West Mobile. Temperatures resting in the upper 80s. Oh, it's hot out there. Really just starting to see those dew points. 78 feels like temperatures 101. Now, this sensor is going to be closer towards downtown Mobile at Brookley Field, so it is toasty if you're located closer towards downtown. You have that abundance of humidity over Mobile Bay, but what we're starting to time things out with our futurecast as we do get further along into the rest of this afternoon, only expecting more of these showers, storms to begin firing off, and so some of these could contain those heavy downpours, frequent lightning, gusty winds. Drive carefully. And then they start to fizzle out because they lose that daytime heating, the fuel with them. So all those fizzle out just after that sun begins to set. I'll talk more about your forecast and a final look at your outlook coming up in just a little bit. We'll also be back with 3 to know before you go after this. But for now, a live view outside on Dauphin Island.
This is amazing. A Guinness World Record has been broken in Alabama after quadruplets were delivered at UAB. The babies were born very early at just a little more than 23 weeks. The life expectancy of a baby obviously born that early is not good, but these babies are thriving and growing. Our Shelby Myers with this incredible story.
I am 40 years old. I have a whole bunch of kids.
Becca and Lavaris Bryant have 7 kids to be exact. 4 of them were born at the same time, quadruplets.
4.
What?
4.
4 what?
4 babies. She said, there's 4 babies. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Are you sure? Like, are you sure? She's like, oh, I'm sure. I've been counting. There's 4 babies. And I just started laughing because I was like, I was terrified. I was like, there's no way.
Becca delivered the babies at 23 weeks and 4 days gestation in the care of 30 doctors, nurses, and healthcare experts at UAB Hospital. 2 girls and 2 boys, Lainey, Callie, Lennon, and Cohen. Nobody could have known that they had broken the Guinness World Record title for the most premature quadruplets. The quad's early arrival into this world didn't come without many risks and challenges.
I always said, I was like, we're bringing 4 in here and we're leaving with 4. Like 4 are coming home. Like they all have to come home. We can't lose 1, we can't lose 2. Like everybody has to come home.
After about 6 months in the NICU and all of the ups and downs in between, the babies did get to go home. Now they're happy 1-year-olds. 2 of the babies do require oxygen, and 1 baby has a G-tube to help supplement his feeding. But overall, they continue to hit milestones and defy the odds.
And I think it's a testament to, the quality and the kind of care that we can provide to families around the state here at UAB.
Shelby Myers, Fox 10 News.
What an amazing story. So glad that the babies are doing well today. Here's your 3 to know before you go. Scientists have identified a previously unknown 86 million year old dinosaur species. They named it the Dragon Prince of Mongolia. The dinosaur was small compared to its larger relatives like the T-Rex. In fact, this newly identified species is the closest known ancestor of the T-Rex. This study was published in the journal Nature yesterday. And then Costco members holding an executive membership can expect some added benefits to start later this month. The retailer says executive members will have extended hours beginning June 30th. I'm excited about this one. Locations will now open at 9 a.m. for those upper level members and remain open an extra hour on Saturdays for all members. Executive members will also receive a $10 credit each month for same day or Instacart orders of $150 or more. Well, finally, fist up with a grin from ear to ear. This is the first ever Starbucks Global Barista Champion. A store manager from Japan is celebrating after winning the coveted title in Las Vegas Wednesday. He beat out 11 other baristas in the coffee chain's intense 3-day contest, a group that came from an original field of 84,000. Challenges in the event included making the perfect latte art tulip or correctly guessing a coffee roast using only smell and taste. In the finals, contenders had 8 minutes to do several tasks, including crafting a signature beverage. That's pretty cool. Jen, I don't know if you know this, but Fox 10's own Claudia Nichols, also known as my sister, was a barista at one point in time, so she needs to start bringing us drinks. I tell her that every day.
I was to say, our Chelsea Sayason was too.
Was she really?
Yep, she
Where are our
was.
free coffees?
I
then?
know, exactly. We need to put in the work to show off their skills too. Well, let's go ahead and take a final look at your forecast. Heading into today, temperatures maxing out mid to upper 80s, possibly a few 90s, feeling more like the triple digits. Rain chances, expecting those to increase heading into this afternoon and this evening. Drive carefully out there. Heavy downpours, frequent lightning, gusty winds possible once that sun begins to set. Those chances will then fizzle out, but summertime pattern continues here across the Gulf Coast with those temperatures staying toasty. Rain chances every day.
Summer on the Gulf Coast. Just have a good attitude, grit and bear it.
That's exactly
Thank you for
right.
watching Fox 10 Midday. See you at 3 p.m.